Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Donovan. This is the No.1 F13 smartwatch that you can pick up right now on GearBest.com. It is actually a GearBest exclusive at the moment, so you can see right here for $38. It's part of their mid-year sales, and we'll talk about what all this thing has to offer at that price point. Now, I'm going to leave a link down in the description for the watch, but then also a 10% coupon code that's good for pretty much anything on GearBest.com, so check that out down below as well. So this is what you get in the box. You get the user manual. It's available in multiple different languages. So first thing it comes with is English, but then after that it's in a bunch of other different languages. But then also their user manual is available within the app for the watch as well. This is the charging cord you're going to use to charge it up with. So you can see on the one end we have a USB, and then on the other end we just have some pins here with some magnets. So that's going to magnetize to the back of the watch. And they claim 25 days of battery life. Obviously, with this only being day 2 for me with the watch, I cannot verify at the moment if that's going to be accurate. But it seems like it could be based on what I've seen so far. Pretty much in the 2 days I've had it, it has not used much battery at all. So we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. So that's the watch, the charger, and then the box. So you can see here the DT No.1 branding, so it's really just No.1 is the name of the company. And then back here on the box you have your QR code, so this is what you're going to need to scan in order to get the app that you're going to use, and the app is right here. So we're going to go ahead and find it. No, it's not there, so let's go out of there. And I have it under my health application, so right there it is, DT No.1. And here it is. So this is the app itself. I will say that I like that they've created their own app, because previous apps that No.1 watches have used, like FundoWare, just not a huge fan of those. And this app is actually a whole lot better in my opinion. So it's very well laid out, pretty simple to use, and we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. So this is the app itself. So again, it's called DT No.1, and you can pick it up directly from the App Store, or you can use that QR code. So let's go ahead and take a look at the watch itself. So there are a total of 5 buttons on the watch. 4 of them are physical buttons. The other one is touch sensitive, and that's this one right here. Okay, so we have a start, a stop. This one's also our back button. This one's going to start all activities. This one, of course, will stop activities, but then you can see it's also our back button. And then we have just up and down, and then this one's our menu button as well. So let's go ahead and turn it on first. And so this is just our general watch face. If we click down here on the menu, which again is touch sensitive, it'll take us through our various applications we have. So the first one is just walking. It automatically tracks your steps. This is just if you want to see how many steps you took so far in the day. And then the calories you've burned, and then also your distance. So we'll go ahead and back out of this now. So that's the I guess pedometer application. And then over here we have our health application. So if I click start on this one, you can see it will start our heart rate monitor. Now the heart rate monitor is all day, so it is continuous. At the moment it's not going to work because I don't have it in there. So right now I just got a notification for something, and you can see that it's in Chinese, but we'll come back to that in just a little bit. So back to the heart rate monitor, you can see it automatically turns it on. But again, within the application you can set it to continuously check your heart rate throughout the day. So we'll look at that in just a little bit. And then the other thing you can do here is also get your sleep information. Now again, it's automatically going to do that if you set it up in the app. So you don't have to like tell it to check your heart rate. You can just have it continuously do that all day. Alright, so now that is the health app. So now let's go to the next one. So again, we're just using the menu button to navigate through them. And then this one is our activity application. So we'll go ahead and click start here. And so the first one it's going to come up with is walking. I can navigate through these using this button, so these up and down buttons. So the next one's running, and then climbing or hiking, cycling, swimming, football, basketball, badminton, table tennis, and that's it. So that's all you get as terms of like different activities that you can basically track throughout the day, or as you're doing them, I should say. So let's go ahead and go into one of them. So let's start out with, let's go to running, since that's what I'm a runner. Whoops, let's go back and hit start. And now we're going to click down to running. Okay, so here's running. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start, and you can see what it's going to track here. So it's going to track our distance, our pace, and then the time that's so far gone through. So right now we're at 10 seconds, and that's pretty much it. That's all you get. And then you do have, of course, the flick of the wrist to turn it back on. So like if you're running and you want to know where you're at the moment, it'll give you that information. Now, something really important to note here is the fact that this does not have GPS. So it's using the gyroscope. It's kind of estimating your distance. It's not an exact distance. So that's just really important. So if you're someone who really wants accurate distance, you're probably not going to want to get this watch. This is more just kind of a ballpark. So it'll have your heart rate accurate, and it'll have your steps accurate, but as far as the actual distance, that will be just an estimation. All right, so let's go ahead and back out of this now. So we stopped the activity. You can see the clock stopped by hitting stop. I hit it again. It'll actually finish the workout, and then we'll go out of it by hitting back, and it's going to show us our information that we did, and then calories burned, our heart rate during the activity, and then also our steps during the activity. All right, so that's pretty much it. So we'll back out of that now. And so that's pretty much the same for any activity. It's going to show you that kind of same general information. Obviously for swimming, it's not going to show you steps, but it will show you your heart rate while you are swimming and things like that. So let's go ahead and back out of this one now. All right, so back out of that. And the next one is going to be our notifications. So I'll go ahead and hit start. Now, one thing I will mention that's definitely a big negative, especially if you don't know Chinese, is the fact that at the moment, I have not been able to find any way to change the notifications off of Chinese. So I'll test it out a little bit more, but at the moment, as far as I can tell, all notifications come in Chinese. So not super useful, except to let you know that you have a notification, but you can see it will display the entire notification, which is cool, except that it's all in Chinese. So I like that it shows the notifications, but I can't actually read them, so that's a problem. So that's just a little bit of a negative there. And then this is going to go through our different watch faces, so I can go ahead and hit start. And then to go through the different watch faces, whoops, let's try that again. So hit start, and then to navigate through them, I'll just hit the up or down button. So this is my favorite one because it kind of shows you all your running information, or all your activity information. So the steps, the calories, your heart rate, the time, and then the date. So that one's very useful. Personally, that's what I like. I like to see all that information. So go ahead and select that one. All right, and we're going to navigate through to the next thing, which is the extras. These are kind of like the more section. So we have a find phone. I'm not going to do that because it basically makes your phone vibrate forever until you actually tell it to stop doing it. So that's what that one does. We'll go ahead and hit the next one. Oops, go back to that. And the next one's going to be stopwatch. So of course that's going to be your typical stopwatch. We have a vibration. Basically it's just going to set up the vibration strength on the watch. We have buzzing, so you can change it from vibration to buzzing. We have about, so that's just going to tell you about the watch, and then reset and power off. So that's pretty much it. That's all you get on the watch. Pretty simple. And then the application itself, so again, same information you can see on the watch itself. So there's our steps, our distance, and then our calories burned. Same thing down here. We can go down to some analysis. It's going to analyze and kind of track them from day to day. And then down here, this is just the current activity that we're on. You can see up here, we'll go up into so sports. So this is our walking. And then over here, we go one more time over, and then here's our sleep information. So as we track it over time, we'll see more and more sleep information there. So it does track your light sleep, your deep sleep, and your duration. And coming down here to the next one, so this is a report. Now obviously, because I haven't actually used it yet, it's not going to show any information. So I haven't slept with the watch yet. And then here is the last thing we're going to take a look at. This is our more section, so you can see it's connected. We have an application push. This is how it's going to push all your notifications. You can choose to have all the applications come up, or you can choose to turn them all off if you want. You can turn call notifications and SMS on here. We can use it to take photos with. So if I click in here, all right, so now I can actually use the watch as my shutter. So I'll go ahead and hit start. and it takes a picture. So I can feel the phone vibrate when it takes a picture, but we'll take a look at that later. Here is Find My Device. So if you don't know where your watch is, you can go ahead and click on that, and it starts beeping and vibrating both. Okay, and then we have a sedentary reminder, and again, you can adjust that. So you noticed earlier that I did get a notification, so I basically have it going from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. and then every 30 minutes, if I don't take 100 steps, it'll remind me to go, take a few steps, and then you can turn it on or off there. And then same thing with drinking water reminder. Same exact thing as a sedentary reminder. We can change the remind mode. Basically, it's going to change it from vibration to just lighting up the screen when it wants to remind you, or you can turn both on. Of course, you can have it raise your hand to turn the watch on, just like we did here. So it should turn on just like that. We have our heart rate test. This is where you're going to adjust how often it tests your heart rate. So basically, I have it so it's doing it all day and then every 10 minutes. That is the I guess most frequent option you have. So it's not like every minute or 30 seconds, it's every 10 minutes. So it's not checking it super often, unless of course you actually are doing an activity, then it'll check it regularly anyways. We have a do not disturb mode. This is our firmware upgrade. This is actually, I've already upgraded it once, and then here we can adjust our unit settings. So notice that I have it here on inches and Fahrenheit. So technically it should be on imperial, but notice that when I go into the activities here and I go back in here, you probably noticed earlier that when I go into, like, let's say walking, notice that it still says kilometers up here. So I still have to test this out. So when I do my full review, we'll find out if that is actually in miles and pace per mile there. But it doesn't show that it's in miles, it shows that it's in kilometers. So even though I've adjusted it here, and I did just get a notification, so that one popped up here. But again, you can see here it's in English, but here, of course, it's in Chinese. So nowhere on here have I been able to find anywhere that you can adjust that. So as far as I can tell, basically at the moment you're stuck with Chinese when it comes to the notifications. So that's definitely a negative for some people, especially if you don't know Chinese. Now, with that being said, this is just a first look at the No.1 F13 smartwatch. Check it out in links down below. Also, links to some other great deals on GearBest.com will be linked down below as well. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.